In our last episode, we had to recruit the newcomers to the Wasteland to help us break into Vault 79. We could have worked with either the settlers at Foundation or the raiders at Crater up until a point of no return. We started by working with the raiders at Crater, and we'll follow their story until we reach that point of no return. Upon informing Meg of Vault 79 and showing her some blueprints of the vault, she agreed to help us break into the place. And to do so, we needed to get in touch with her demolitions expert, Lucky Lou. However, when we went into Lucky Lou's room, we found a goodbye note. He had disappeared, but in the goodbye note, he mentioned that he was giving some of his stuff to another raider named Fisher. After talking with Fisher, or by reading his terminal, we learned that Fisher was in on it. He knew that Lucky Lou was going to leave. Fisher thought that he would eventually come to his senses and come on back, but he hasn't yet. And so, concerned for his friend, Fisher sent a tracker friend of his after Lucky Lou. Now, Fisher had fixed her up with some sort of device that he used to track her. Totally because he didn't trust her or something. I'm sure it was just for her benefit, but we can pick up this signal on our Pip-Boy radio. Tuning our Pip-Boy to Fisher's radio frequency, we follow it southeast of Crater. If we follow it correctly, eventually we arrive at the entrance to the abandoned Carleton mine, a brand new location with Wastelanders. Outside, we find some concrete, a couple of ruined cars, and when ready to move on, we can head down the tracks and open the door to the Carleton mine. On the other side, we find a woman rummaging through a footlocker, and her name is Weasel.
Hello? I was not expecting anyone.
Fisher sent me. Are, you his tracker friend?
Yes, I am Weasel.
Is there something wrong with your voice?
I can't speak. The man, Fisher, made this collar to let me speak words. It is not perfect, but it works. He found the machines. No. The science. No. That is also not right. Technology. Yes, it has trouble interpreting some words.
Weasel? That's an unusual name.
Not my real name. I was with a different gang until I ratted on someone. They used a red-hot poker to burn my voice box. Now I am with Meg and her gang. They like me, but when they found out why I could not talk, they programmed this thing so I could only say my name is Weasel. That way, people know I was a rat.
How does the collar let you speak?
Fisher knows how it works better than I do. He found a science person. No, a scientist's house in Mananga. The scientist was working on a device to let animals talk. Fisher made it work for me and improvised. Made it work better, mostly.
What kind of words does it have trouble with?
The vocals, box cable. Word list was not complete. For example, there are no bad words. I have been trying to say bad words this whole time, but they do not come out. If I try, I can say them in other ways. Poop. Fornicate. Hot underground place.
Never mind. No time to chat. We need to find Lou. Any idea where he is?
Lou is deep inside the mine, but he does not want to be found, and it is dangerous to go alone. We can find him together. You lead. I will follow.
With that, Weasel joins us as a temporary companion, and we get to explore the Carleton mine. We find a couple of skeletons sitting on a bench here. The footlocker Weasel was rummaging through is actually empty. Heading down the tracks, we pass a bird cage. At the end of the tracks, we hear a voice.
Serious, I'm warning you. Get out, or you can die here. Got a large explosive set up.
That must be Lou, and he threatened us. Why is Lou in hiding? Why doesn't he want to be found? The tracks are blocked by a large garage door, and near to it we find an intercom.
This better be good.
Hey, buddy, tone down the hermit act. I'm here to help.
No help needed. Yins can help by going back where you came from before I cave us in. So, unless you want me buried tonight, get out.
That's a very unique accent. I'm guessing you're Lou. I need to speak with you.
No thanks. Now get out of here. Don't want yins buried near me. If I don't have no choice, then fine.
Buried? Wait a minute. What do you mean?
I mean what I said. I'm sealing me in here, and I ain't leaving nothing to chance. Caves are rigged to collapse, and if explosions don't kill you, the cave-in sure will. So get out of here, or I'm bringing down the rock on yins too.
Lou? Is that you?
Yeah, it's me. What's up with you? Yins don't sound familiar.
I come from Vault 76. I'm working with your friends. We need you.
What you need me for? I ain't going back to Crater.
You don't know me. I'm coming here on behalf of Fisher.
Fisher? Why that? I told him I didn't want nobody coming for me. What's anyone doing coming for me anyway?
Please listen to what I've got to say.
I feel like yins are just gonna say it anyway, so go on.
Why are you abandoning your friends?
'Cause that's my business and my business alone. Keep your nebbing nose out of it.
We need you for a job.
Nah, I'm retired. I just decided it. Yins can take your job, turn it sideways, and put it where the sun don't shine. I ain't interested.
Can't we just talk about this face to face?
Now listen up. I don't want to talk, because I don't want yins hurt. I rigged this place to blow, and you being here has put a royal wrench in my plans. Nah, you can try to get here to me before I get this son of a bitch detonator working, or you can kindly screw off and get out alive. I don't recommend anything in between. Now, if you excuse me, I'm busy.
Are you really going to kill both of us?
I don't want to kill nobody I don't know for no reasons. But that's life now. I gave you a choice. I hope you get the hell on out before I detonate. Now leave me alone.
No way forward. Lou shut it tight. But come look at this.
With that, our eloquent new friend Weasel here leads us to a hole in the wall. We find a path in this mine wall, and it leads to another wall that looks a bit fragile.
Over here. I have an idea.
Good, at least one of us does. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yes, that is clear. But do not worry. This cave wall looks weak, and I think I can destroy it with Big Boom, so we can go through to the other side.
You'd better be able to get us out of here.
Fornicate you, friend. I do not work for you. But yes, I think I can destroy this cave wall with Big Boom and get us through.
What am I looking at?
It looks like there is a way through. We could exclaim, expose, destroy it with Big Boom and go to the other side.
Big Boom? Are you talking about explosives?
Yes, the scientist who first made this thing did not make the word for Big Boom. The word you said. But he did make Big and Boom. I do not know why.
How do you know that'll work?
I cannot clear it. Garbage. I cannot make it sure. But I was told to get Lou, and you were told to get Lou too. We can try this, or we can go home with no Lou. Meg will not be happy if there is no Lou.
What are you going to destroy it with?
I found some Big Boom charges at the cave entrance when you arrived. Lou must have left them. I wish I could say the right word. Big Boom makes me sound like a baby. I have seen Lou use them. I think I can do this.
Are you sure this will lead to where we need to go?
No, but we do not have many options. The cave on the other side may lead us to another cave that goes back into the mine. Then we can find Lou. I have a good feeling about this.
It sounds like you know what you're doing. Let's try it.
I have done this kind of work with Lou before. Stand back. I will set up the big boom.
With that, Weasel walks over to the fragile-looking wall and begins to insert some explosives.
Stand back, or you will die.
Heeding her warning, we can stand back.
Told you it would.
Good job, Weasel. But breaking open this wall has revealed a hive filled with cave crickets.
I made short work of it.
Well, at least one cave cricket. Moving into the next chamber, we see that the tunnel moves on to the north. It winds east, then back north, and along the way we kill another cricket. Eventually, the tunnel opens up into a large concrete room. Here we can get rid of roaches until Weasel takes us aside.
Did Lou make this? It looks like a machine to kill himself. It looks like it did not work.
Wait, Lou tried to commit suicide in this chair? Seems like a rather straightforward procedure. Why exactly didn't it work? If we try to sit in the chair ourselves... Wait, what? But nothing happens. Whew. Looks like the chair was pressure activated, but the gun just didn't want to fire. Nearby, we find a chalkboard with tick marks on it. 5, 10, 15, 16... Are those his suicide attempts? Did he try to kill himself 16, 17 times, and he failed every time? Why couldn't he do it? Was he really that lucky? We see a double-barrel shotgun rigged up in his latest attempt, but nearby we find a table and buckets filled with other weapons that presumably he tried to use. A pump-action shotgun, a short double-barrel shotgun, and on the table we find a note. Lou's log, engine room. I'm not even going to attempt his accent here. I found another one of them ghouls in this mine tonight. He looked just like me, but his mind was fried. I tried talking to him. Stupid. He just ran at me. If Lev's right, I could turn into one of those things at any time. Yeah, there's only one way out of this. I'm not sure I can pull a trigger on myself. I keep losing my nerve. I'm an engineer, damn it. I'll think of something. Maybe I should take the human element out of it. I'll need a workshop. This engine room will work if I stash all of the corpses somewhere. And lying next to this, we find Lou's log, new plan. This makes no damned sense. It was such a simple idea. Just sit in the chair. Since the other day, I've gone through 3 chairs and 4 shotguns. I've had jams, misfires, broken chair legs, bad aim, and every other thing. I should have known everything in this mine was rusted to hell. No way I'm trying this on myself unless I'm sure it'll work. I'm here to die, not to get maimed. Time for a new plan. Is Lou's story here an example of the Fallout universe's luck metric at work? Was he just too lucky to die? Nearby, we find a few of the chairs that he talked about in his note. Broken legs and everything. Near to the hole where we arrived is a staircase leading to the top of a small room. Here we find some minor gear stacked on shelves, a couple of small containers, and a zero-skill locked tool case, and a pile of skeletons. These must be some of the bodies Lou talked about in his note. After looting another zero-skill locked toolbox, we can head back to the ground level. There's a room nearby with glowing fungus in a bucket. Most of the containers are empty, but attached to this room is another room with a big terminal. Engine room maintenance terminal. Looks like we get some pre-war lore here. Staff notice. We can't wait much longer for the fuel pump to be repaired. I'll be visiting corporate next week to push on this issue. If Dwayne's guy can't fit us in before November, we may need to hire a local contractor in Grafton or Morgantown. If there's a complete failure while I'm away, talk to Jonah. He worked maintenance in Golly Mine and knows how to contact their technician. Martin. So the fuel pump is busted. I wonder if Lou, being an engineer, could fix it. Nearby we find Lou's sleeping bag, Captain Cosmos themed, with a couple of ammo boxes and an explosives chest nearby. When ready, we can head back into Lou's suicide room and move west. We find a path to the left and a path to the right. The path to the left ends at 2 blue doors that are locked with a terminal. We can't unlock them from here. And we didn't find an option in the other terminal, which means we need to keep looking, turning around and moving north. What was that? Whatever it was big. Moving forward, we see that this catwalk crosses some tracks below, and we can take a staircase down to the tracks. At the bottom of the tracks, we can kill some mole rats. And we can go either east or west. Moving east first, we find a laser rifle propped up on a big blanket next to a lunchbox. But continuing to follow the tracks east, we see that this is a dead end, which means our only path forward is to turn around and follow the tracks west. As we do, we stumble upon more mole rats. With the mole rats dead, we can collect brain fungus on the walls of this mine, and as we do, we again hear a sound. Nearby, we find a blood pack on the ground, a first aid kit nearby, and next to the first aid kit, we find a note, Lou's log, turret repair. I finally stopped the turrets in the next room from firing on every random critter that runs by. Now they'll only activate when I press the red button. I'll be leaving on my own terms, not some damned rats. Well, he didn't want to die to mole rats. Instead, he wanted to be killed by turrets. Although I suppose it is a lot better. Fair point, Lou. The tracks west lead us to a large room, and the tracks crisscross this way and that.
Sounds like a fog crawler ahead. And it looks like Lou made another self-killing trap. Maybe you can use it against the creature.
Good idea, Weasel. Or we can shoot. I was so trigger happy that I fired on the thing before realizing that Lou had this all set up for me. All we had to do is race to the middle of this room and press the big red button. But it wasn't that effective. All 4 of the turrets are now down, and we didn't kill the fog crawler. Looks like it's time to perform a little shotgun surgery. That always works. But I wanted to do this the right way, so when I tried again on my other character, I snuck in like I was supposed to and pushed the big red button. Much more effective. It looks like it's perfectly calibrated. These machine gun turrets are on a timer. After the timer, they stop working. They're not destroyed. In fact, if we go and push the button again, they turn on again. Yeah. And they didn't like me. With the fog crawler dead, we can explore our surroundings. We'll start by following these crisscrossing minecart tracks. The one to the south is a dead end, brain fungus and glowing fungus, that's about it. In the large room in the middle, we find a door bathed in red light and a terminal nearby. We'll go that way in a minute. Next to this, we find a floating pod. Inside, a couple of containers, food on the ground, and a terminal on a desk. Lou's engineering notes. We find 3 options in the first: turrets, I found a store of military-grade turrets and an old observatory to the south. No idea why they needed this firepower. It's mine now. Sounds like he scavenged the turrets from Atlas Observatory. Actually, quite a ways to have to drag it, though. I'm sure the Brotherhood would be miffed if they found out about it. These turrets are in good shape. I've tested a few, and they all seem to work. I still can't bring myself to walk in front of one, but I have a new plan to work around that. Alright, so it's a combination of Lou being lucky and Lou just kind of being not really suicidal. He didn't really want to die. In the next one, trial run number 2, the turrets are all set up, but those giant, hideous rats keep running through the room and setting them off. Their corpses are liquidy. Makes my stomach churn, thinking that will be me. Tremors have also been a problem. Yeah, tremors. Yesterday I replaced all of the turret wiring, and then a small quake set them off. Somehow they ended up targeting each other. Now I need new turrets. I'm starting to sour on this whole damned plan. He's so lucky he's even getting random earthquakes just when he's about to commit suicide. In the final one, failure. Okay, I'm done here. Everything was set up perfectly today. Perfectly! I was eating another last meal over by the excavator when a damned rock fell on the button and activated the turrets. They targeted me, but the excavator blocked most of the fire. 2 of the rounds grazed my arm, and God, this hurts worse than I thought it would. What the hell was I thinking? I hate this place. I don't want to die, but I can't let myself become one of those things. I know what I have to do, even if my heart ain't in it. Damn it. Back to the drawing board. This poor guy. He's too lucky for his own good. He doesn't want to die. He likes being alive, but he doesn't want to hurt other people. He doesn't want to become a ghoul. Well, maybe we can convince him that not all ghouls turn into feral ghouls. After looting a stim pack on the ground, we can pick his skill level 3 locked safe at the foot of his bed. I'm sure he won't mind. And finish off by looting a duffel bag before moving around to the back of his floating pod to see a stack of all of those destroyed turrets from other experiments. Then, following the tracks to the west, we find another dead end, which means we have one path left, and that's to access the terminal outside the door bathed in red light to open it. The door swings open. Moving forward, we kill some cave crickets. There are 2 paths, but the southern one is blocked in with rubble and ruined machinery. So to continue, we turn west and follow the lights. As we move forward... Oh! It's one of those tremors we read about. He wasn't making it up. We arrive in a new room.
That building looks like the way forward.
Okay, thanks, Eagle Eye. Let me read this note first. Lou's log, chamber. All that computer crap was too finicky. New plan. Death by heavy machinery. I'll need more supplies to finish building the chamber. It needs more supports. Each time I test it, the tremors in the mine get worse. Now they happen almost every time I turn it on. Am I causing them somehow? It's your luck, Lou. Your luck is causing the tremors. But hopefully he's not so lucky that the cave falls in on us. Exploring this room, we find a big blue lifter, a couple of skeletons shoved in a corner, and that's about it. So instead we can move towards the wall in the middle of the room and push the big red button. The door opens, and stepping inside, we find Lou's death chamber. But then... Uh-oh.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, no! What? We're alive! We're alive! We splash down into a subterranean pool. Lou is so lucky that he just so happened to make his grinding room of death directly above a very weak portion of the cave that crumbled into a nice safe pool. Oh, lucky Lou, where are you?
You should have seen your face when it looked like you were going to die. That was funny. Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, so glad you're pleased, Weasel. You were absolutely no help at all. Let's see, how do we get out of here? We see lights off to the north, and moving that way, we find a large room and a scorpion. After looting some rad scorpion eggs from the scorpion nest, we can follow the chamber to the south. But here, the chamber splits in two. The highway or the low way. Taking the high road for now, we can kill another scorpion. Continuing forward, we find frogs hopping around, fungus on all of the walls, and even more rad scorpion eggs stuck in the mud here. This ledge overlooks the path below, and here we find another scorpion. Oh, great. The higher path eventually slopes downwards, and it connects with the lower path. Turning around to explore the lower path to make sure we didn't miss anything, all we missed was a frog, and of course the scorpion we killed from above. So heading back, we find 3 tunnels forward. Trying the rightmost tunnel first, we can loot more rad scorpion eggs, until the room opens into a small chamber where we have to kill a rad scorpion.
Kill it. There is another weak wall here. We'll try to get through it with a big boom again. Do not stand near the big boom when it goes off. Get to a safe place before the boom.
Stepping back to wait for that boom.
We should hurry.
The explosion summons even more rad scorpions. The tunnels that we bypassed to get to this room just lead to ledges where we find more nests and more rad scorpion eggs. So moving through the newly formed hole in the wall, we arrive in another huge room with another subterranean pool. In this pool is a dump truck, and in the back of the dump truck is the skeleton of a miner. There's a waterfall in this room. The pool itself is not very deep. We can wade in it, and we find a pathway to the north leading up. Following this, we see that one of the minecart tracks eroded away into this pool. That's how the dump truck fell in there. We find another dump truck up here, guarded by a cave cricket.
Hurry! I will kill it quickly.
And in the dirt next to this dump truck is an end of dungeon steamer trunk. The bed of this dump truck is empty, and passing a number of mine cars, we can follow the tracks to the east. We see a large room opening up before us, and here, Weasel stops us.
I hear Lou working up ahead. I will stay here. You should be the one to handle this part.
From here, we go on alone. As we approach the large room, we arrive at a split in the tracks. The tracks continue to the east or move off to the south. But between the two tracks, we find a large room, and in the middle of the room, we find Lou.
Ah! What the? Where the hell did you come from, you sneaky jagger? You gone through all the trouble not to get here. Lord, after stop an old man from off himself. What do you want?
This is how Lou responds if we just barge in here and startle him. However, there is another way to sabotage his suicide plans. If instead of hopping right down to talk with him, we're a bit more observant, we notice a big battery in the middle of the room, connected to a number of red wires, each of which leads to what appear to be large stone pillars supporting this cave. If we follow the red wires, each one leads to a circuit breaker. Circuit breakers that we can deactivate. One down. There are 3 others. Moving around to the left, we find the second one. Then, going back to the split and following the tracks to the north, we find the third one. And to get the final one, we need to creep in the darkness down into the pit behind a tent and inspect the back of the final pillar. With all 4 circuit breakers disabled, this time, if we approach Lou...
So, you think you're all sneaking at? Well, you're not, Jagger. I see yous. and you better be ready to explain what you're thinking. Okay, I'm listening.
We find a couple options we didn't find earlier. We can say, go ahead. I'd like to see you try to blow us up now.
Fine, I will. Oh, hell. It still ain't working. You must have went disconnected all my demo charges, didn't you?
Or I've disabled all of your explosives, so you won't be detonating anything right now. Let's talk.
You did what? Why in hell you gotta do that? Of course this would happen this way. What a pain in my ass. You gone through all the trouble not to get here. Lord, after stopping an old man from off himself. What do you want?
But here we get dumped back into the same dialogue tree. Whether or not we disable the circuit breakers from here on out, the conversation goes the same way. Off yourself? Are you trying to commit suicide?
That's what I said. Did I stutter?
What's going on here?
What's it look like?
I wouldn't have braved your death traps if I didn't need your help.
I get you, but I got a good reason to do what I'm doing. In case it ain't obvious, I'm one of them rad-soaked ghouls. Been that way going on 25 years. Ain't no way to live. Killing myself's the only way to keep people safe. Of course, that's harder than you'd think.
What's a ghoul?
Take a good look. Ghoul's not the name I'd choose. His name's someone would give a monster. Of course, some of them are. They gone feral. Anyway, I don't know how it works in that. You're asking the wrong person. I just know getting a big old dose of radiation seems to make people change like this sometimes.
What's wrong with being a ghoul?
You for real? Aside from maybe being a ticking feral time bomb, my body's a mess. Feels like the radiation's both killing me and keeping me alive somehow. You get used to it after a while. But it ain't ever pretty. Nah, it ain't all bad. I've never been good around people. Now they let me alone because look, I feel like I could live forever. That might sound good, but trust me, it ain't.
You do look kind of like a monster.
Thanks, Jagoff. Got any more words of encouragement?
But you're not mindless like the feral ghouls.
Not yet. How do you think those ferals get that way? All I know is I can't be around people when that happens. Best to seal myself away.
How will killing yourself keep people safe?
You see them fears around? Only a matter of time before I'm one of them. I don't want to kill nobody who ain't got a good reason to be killed. It's bad enough I look like a monster. It's a whole nother thing to kill just 'cause something moved.
Aren't you working with raiders, though?
That's different. We don't kill nobody for no reason. We offer mercy. We let people join up. We ain't as bad as you think. We give them a choice. We only kill if we need to. It's about survival. Not killing because we feel like it.
Maybe it's not that bad.
Yins ain't making a good case if you want my help.
Okay, I understand.
It ain't the kind of life I'd wish on nobody.
I imagine deciding to kill yourself is a very hard decision.
That ain't what I mean. I mean literally, physically, I can't seem to do it. You've seen the setups I got here. All designed to be foolproof death traps. None of them worked. Always something managed to go wrong. So I figure with this last one, worst case scenario, I get buried alive and can't do no harm to nobody. No backing out of it. I tell you, my luck ain't a blessing. It's a curse.
You've really convinced yourself of this luck thing, haven't you?
Luck's supposed to work in your favor. And it did. Most of my life wasn't a game of cards I couldn't win. Of course, I almost never played. Didn't have nobody to play with. Worked with demolitions my whole life. Walked away from accidents that would have outright killed other men. So yeah, I'm convinced the world wants me alive. Like it or not. And that's a problem for everyone else.
I don't think luck has anything to do with it. I think you're deluding yourself.
What? You just think I'm trying to die and just failing at it because I don't know what I'm doing? I've been working with my hands for longer than you've been alive. If I want to build something to kill someone, it happens. So, Why not with me? So if it ain't skill, then what is it? There ain't no better explanation than luck.
It's only a curse if you're trying to die.
That's the problem. Dying of old age don't seem to be an option. The longer I'm alive, the longer I'm a danger to others. I'm a burden at best. No thanks. I'm done with the world. It's like the world just ain't done with me. Just had to curse me with luck, so I can't even die in peace with my dignity intact.
If you're right about your luck, then won't this likely fail too?
Ian's probably right, but I gotta try. Like I said, at least this way, I put myself away in a tomb I can't get out of, and on my own terms.
I think I get it.
Not sure you do, but hey,
Suicide's not the answer. There's a lot to live for.
says you. Ian's ain't chock full of radiation. Still got skin in the right places. No worries about losing what makes you human. Not being able to stop yourself from killing those that matter to you. That's why this is the only way. Besides, I'm old. I was old when I came down with this. I ain't showing any signs of slowing down now. I'm real tired of this. It's too much. I'm done.
What if you don't change?
I only run across a few others like me. They were all worried about the same. What if? No one's got any idea. Ain't exactly a doctor around who knows how this all works. So yeah, maybe I'm fine. Maybe I'll live another 100 years and not nothing goes sideways. But you seen all them fears out there. Way more of them than there is like us. I don't want to take no chances.
It's very noble of you, but people still need you.
Yeah, I know. I'm a regular softy. Nice that people need me. But you don't understand.
Don't be stupid. There's got to be a better way.
You come here and insult me, Jagoff? I thought my way around this. I made peace. And I won't go out my way. Not losing my mind and chowing down on my friend's bones. This unnatural walking corpse of a body. It ain't no way to live. Say I go back with Ian's to hell. What happens if I change for the worse and end up killing others? And what happens if people have trouble putting me down? So I end up killing them all. What then?
I don't know.
That's what I thought. You're useless. Useless, but stubborn, I'll give you that.
That's certainly a concern. We'll deal with it if it comes up.
Yeah? You gonna put your money where your mouth is?
I don't think that's very likely.
Yeah, well, I don't like taking chances. That's why I work with explosives. So, here's the deal.
That's not my problem. We just need you for the job.
Okay. If I do this job for you, you gotta help me off myself after it's done. It's gotta be you. I don't want nobody else knowing about this.
This part of the dialogue tree is a checkpoint. Once we make a choice, we can't go back. We could say, I don't feel comfortable with that. I'd much rather convince you to live.
I don't think it's gonna happen. But likewise, so long as Ian's let me try to convince you I need to die, it's a deal.
Or we could say, you got it. I'll help you kill yourself in order to protect others.
Then you've got a deal. I'll be counting on you. Remember, not a word to the others about what I was out here doing or why. Not even Fisher. Don't want him thinking less of me. And I don't want to cause any fright. Nah. Let's hear about this jaw.
This tree is also a checkpoint. Now we remember in our last episode, Meg told us not to tell anyone what we're doing. Not even Lou. So to keep our promise to Meg, we could say, let's get you back to Crater first. Meg will fill you in.
If you say so. I trust Meg, so if there's something she needs done, I'll do it.
Or, if we want to make poor Lou here excited for life again, we could give him more information and say, we need your demolition skills to break into Vault 79.
Ian's want to blast our way into a vault? Sounds crazy, but I can do it. I'm in. You go on ahead back to Crater. I gotta get things in order around here, so nothing happens to it while I'm gone. Meet you there.
With that, we convince Lou not to kill himself, but he's not too happy. In his room here, we find another table upon which is Lou's log, Cave In. Of course, I'll use gravity. Nothing can stop gravity. It's gravity. The stone pillars in this cavern are load-bearing. When my explosives detonate, the ceiling will collapse. I'll be buried under a ton of rubble. If I don't die in the explosion, at least I'll never get out. This is going to work, damn it. I am a demolitions expert. Why didn't I try this from the start? Looks like we got to him just in time. And I suppose that means that we were manipulated by his luck. I mean, imagine, he tried every way possible to off himself, and when he finally stumbles upon the one that is most likely to work, some stranger walks into his cave and offers him the job of a lifetime. Lucky indeed. To get out, we follow the passages to the west. Here we find a large elevator, and at the bottom of it, we find a terminal labeled Vehicle Inventory Terminal. Carleton Mine Maintenance Terminal Vehicle Inventory Records. We find two options in the first forklift operation records. Riviera, 7:02 a.m., October 1st, 2077, SPJ 5506P-31. T. Micklewhite, 10:30 a.m., October 3rd, 2077, SPJ 3900-A5. J. Riviera, 3:40 p.m., October 3rd, 2077, SPJ 5506P-31. F. LeSueur, 8:10 a.m., October 14th, 2077, PMJ-0383-SP2. LeSueur, 2:30 p.m., October 15th, 2077, PMJ-0383-5P2. And finally, J. Riviera, 7 a.m., October 22nd, 2077, the day before the bombs dropped, SPJ 3900-A5. Well, this explains all of the skeletons we find here in the mine. It was still active, and the workers were still working. And the final one, maintenance requests. SPJ 5586P-31, wheel replacement. October 3rd, 2077, left rear wheel deformed, needs replacement. And in the final one, PMJ-0383-5P2, steering. October 15th, 2077, sticks to the left. Noticed this over the past 2 days. All right, a fascinating little insight into the pre-war operations here at Carleton Mine. With all of the side tunnels and passages fully explored, we can leave by taking the elevator above the terminal up a level. This puts us out in a small room. We find scrap lying about on some of the tables and desks. Heading down from the platform, we find an armor workbench, another laser rifle lying about, and another shelf filled with scrap. Moving north, we again find tracks. The western path is completely blocked, so moving east, we arrive at another split. The left path appears to be filled with destroyed turrets. If we follow this path, at the top of the tracks we find a bunch of big blue tubs and a terminal connected by a wire to a big blue double door. Using the terminal, we can open the door, and we see that we have opened the big blue double door that we saw in Lou's shotgun suicide room. So we've done a big loop, but that also means that this isn't the way out. To find our way out, we need to go south back down the tracks and then follow them to the east. Here we see even more chairs, all of which must have malfunctioned for poor old Lucky Eddie. There's a door here. Opening the door, we find a minor locker room. The stalls are all empty, nothing in the urinals. We find a couple of mirrors, but only one has anything inside. Outside the room, we find that Lou is putting together another one of his crushing plates using old punji boards. There's another big red button here that we can punch. It doesn't do anything. At the end of this path, we find a terminal that we can use to open the nearby garage door. And this leads us all the way back to the very beginning. There's the hole that Weasel found at the beginning of our adventure. Well, with Lou agreeing to join our party, we can hike all the way back to Crater and tell Meg of our success.
Hey, 7-6. Took you long enough to come back. You get Lou on board with the plan?
Meg has the same response to the top two options. We can say, sorry, he wasn't home, so I had to go look for him. He's in for the job. Or, I had to take care of some stuff, but Lou's good to go.
Okay, good. Lou's our way in the front door, so I don't know how we do it without him.
However, we find a final option here. Now remember, before we left, Lou begged us not to tell anyone at Crater that he was planning to commit suicide. However, we can completely ignore his plea and say, yeah, Lou ran off to kill himself. I stopped him and got him to help us instead.
Wait, hold up. You saying Lou's suicidal? To hell with that noise. Lou's a good man. Me and him gotta have a little heart-to-heart. See if I can't get him back on track and help him out of his funk, you know? I knew a lot of people chose to end it all after the war. My own mother was in that boat. The world's a depressing place now. But we gotta survive. That's what people do. And those that do gonna be stronger than anyone come before us, dig? Anyway, Lou's always been a grumpy-ass cat, but I never pegged him for suicidal. Guess you never know. I'll make sure he gets help. Thanks.
He's worried that he'll go feral and hurt people in Crater.
That's ridiculous. We never seen a ghoul go feral. We wouldn't have kept him around if we was worried about that. Look, I'll talk to him, alright? You focus on the vault job, you dig?
We should let him do what he wants, but after the job.
Nuh-uh, 7-6. We're gonna fight to make Lou see the light. I don't want to see another one of our own go down just because we didn't care enough. But that's on me. What's on you is getting this vault job squared away.
No problem. I'll try to help him too.
I appreciate that. You saved him once, so maybe he'll listen to you. But ultimately, Lou's one of our own. It's my responsibility. For now, I need your attention on this vault job. Alright, so I've been thinking about those plans. Place is secure as hell. Once Lou gets us inside, I'm sure we're gonna meet resistance. They ain't gonna just bowl over and let us loot, so we're gonna need the big guns. For that, we need Gale. Gale's the big green mutant gal you may have seen around, always hanging out with her little girl, Ra-Ra. Ever since Ra-Ra met up with Gale in the wilderness, they've been impossible to separate. So, just saying, you may have to convince Ra-Ra to let Gale come with us. Good luck, 7-6.
And if we choose the option to tell her about his suicide plans, we get a big dose of Raider reputation. In addition to the big dose of Raider reputation we get for completing the quest, Cheating Death. But we begin the quest, Fun and Games. Recruit Gale and Ra-Ra for the Vault 79 heist. Now that we've rescued Lou, we can check in with Fisher.
Lou chewed me out real good over letting you know where he was. He's got a real anger streak in him sometimes. You'd think after everything we've been through, he could learn a thing or two about forgiveness. It may be he takes things out on me because he thinks I'll always be here for him. But we both know with his longevity that won't always be the case. God help him.
Are you a religious man, Fisher?
Once upon a time. I was born and raised Amish. It's hard to shake what you're brought up to believe since birth, no matter how bad this world turns.
How do you go from Amish to here?
After the war, my faith wavered. Anyone could understand that. But to some in my community, it vindicated them. They believed their survival meant they walked the true path. I couldn't be among that mindset. So I used Rumspringer as my chance to leave.
So, do you still believe?
I believe faith is a weakness in this world. If you really want to survive, there's no room for turning the other cheek. I no longer believe in the God I was raised to worship. I put my faith in hard work, and my loyalty in those that have proven themselves. It's just the mannerisms I can't seem to shake.
Faith is for fools.
Faith is merely a tool that has many uses. When used incorrectly, it blinds people from the truth. It can lead even the most righteous down the darkest of paths.
Faith can help people survive.
For some, it's all they need. They just have to be smart about it. Prayer won't put food on your table or heal your wounds. It can only give you strength from within. When I fell in with Lev's crew before we met Meg, I could finally see how the faith I had was a hindrance to my own survival. Sometimes I think Lev even gets it right more than Meg. Meg has heart, which can be a risk. Lev won't think twice about taking someone out. I often sided with Meg whenever Lev gets that itch because of my friendship, if you can call it that, with Lou. Lou needs a leader like Meg. With Lev, he wouldn't last a month, just because he's a ghoul.
You had a fight. He'll get over it.
I pray you're right, because I do value his friendship. He just makes it so hard.
Lou needs a friend. You did the right thing.
Did I? You think I brought hell itself down on that man? I only ever look out for him. I guess I ought to get back to work. At least I can distract myself with the endless amount of improvements and repairs that need to get done.
Interesting insight into Fisher's motivations there. Former Amish turned raider. Didn't really see that coming. Heading down to Lou's room, we find him by his bed.
Hey, got some for yins. Want it?
Sure. What is it?
Explosives. I got too many of them. So, I'm trying to offload some. Now let me alone.
And with that, he gives us a cryogenic grenade.
Got nothing for you. Go bug someone else.
But only once.
Got nothing for you.
Good old Grumpy Lou. It appears to be a random explosive. Another time I came by, he gave me a plasma grenade. Heading upstairs, we can try to find this Gale. Oh, and it sounds like Gale is in a bad spot. She's even crying in Super Mutant. She, I guess she's a she. But sadly, we are all out of time. In our next episode, we'll find out exactly what's bothering Gale and see if we can help. I publish new Fallout videos each and every week on my channel, so if you don't want to miss my next episode, be sure to subscribe and to click that bell notification button. If you have already, but you still feel like you're missing out on YouTube notifications, consider following me on Twitter @Oxhorn. I update Twitter manually with every piece of content that I publish. I've got a shirt shop with completely unique designs that you can't find anywhere else. My designs come on shirts in a variety of men's, women's, and children's sizes, and in a wide array of colors. You can find them on other products as well, like smartphone cases, pillows, posters, mugs, stickers, prints, etc. So if interested, you can find a link to my shop in the description below, or you can click here. If you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming a patron on Patreon or a member here on YouTube. YouTube members and patrons on Patreon are becoming increasingly important as YouTube continues to make platform changes that make the future of YouTube monetization uncertain. So to all of my YouTube members and my patrons on Patreon, you have my sincerest thanks. I couldn't do this without you. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with more brand new videos.